Alexa, what day is today?
Today is Sunday, April 22nd.
Alexa, what time is it?
It's 8:26 a.m.
Alexa, turn on light 1. Hi, Linton again. Um, and we're going to talk about pre and post zygotic curves. Oh, you thought we were through with all that? Well, anyway. Yeah, that's right. We're getting um, into quantitative stuff. Okay, an ovum and sperm combine to form a zygote, which is single cell. You're going to have to learn a word there, maybe. Single cell, zygote, means a yoke, as in a yoke of oxen, and two oxen in a yoke can do more than one ox in the same yoke. They are able to go on and form an embryo, and some tissues that will support the pregnancy, and anything that prevents the formation of a zygote is pre-zygotic infertility. Anything that prevents the pregnancy from going on to have an offspring is post-zygotic. So it's a cyclic process. The question that always nags me, well, when does a post-zygotic process of one generation become the pre-zygotic process of the next? If I can't get a date, is that pre or post? For me, having thought about it, the moment is when the sperm makes physical contact with the ovum. Anything before that is post-zygotic from the previous generation. If somebody has a different opinion, I'm certainly happy to listen. Spent a few minutes looking back over the source code. You'll see that in the computer program, the two are not just different facets of the same process. They do not occur together. They're not close together during the creation of a new generation. Intuitively, one might expect that pre-zygotic should precede post-zygotic, but when I think about it, I generally consider post-zygotic first, and that's what we're going to do. So how does the post-zygotic form of infertility do it, predicting the known Sibley curve? You've seen the Sibley curve, right? Sibley curve goes like that. And how good is post-zygotic infertility at predicting that? So here's a graph, a number of runs compared the virtual reproductive rate with the population size. Vertical axis, number of offspring per individual in the population at generation 1,000. I generally run things 1,000 generations just to make sure they're good and stable. Horizontal axis is population size. Okay, you got that? Population size, this direction. Big population, low population. Fertility, this direction. High fertility, low fertility. All right? And here's this nice little sweeping curve. That's our Sibley curve. Also, notice that if you get in there too tight, we're going to be looking at this again later, but there, that point is real. If you get too small a population, the population size, you get inbreeding depression, and the population can die out, as it did in this series of runs. Okay, but there's your Sibley curve. Post-zygotic, you've seen the source code. If you don't like it, thank you. Please go make it better. And that is a straight post-zygotic curve. Right? The pre-zygotic curve for me is problematic. It's difficult. I look at the post-zygotic curve and I say, yep, that's all we need. There's your Sibley curve. Who could ask for more? But if you look at the time course of a population limited only by a pre-zygotic process, you get something like this. There's a single run of a computer program modeling a population affected by it's actually pre-zygotic infertility, increasing with decreasing consanguinity and increasing population size. All right, so this is generations. That's fertility, and this is just the time course. This is total number of offspring in your population. And as you can see, straight pre-zygotic, okay? Start small population, skyrockets, drops off, appears to be leveling off, all right? Like, I have a very good friend, we've been in communication, a couple of three exchanges, and she says, oh, well, what could be better? You know, the birth rate of developed countries is below replacement and pretty well leveled off. It's staying there. Oh, how nice. You know, the population's got to come down, and this beats war, famine, plague, and that sort of thing. It's reason to cheer. Yeah, except there's this thing, right? That goes to 0. Okay, this isn't really data. I stuck some zeros in there so you can see that it just stays 0. But of course it does. Yeah. Technically, the program ended when the population went to 0. Stuck a few more in, but that drop is unmistakable, and it is inherent in pre-zygotic infertility. You can work around it, but that is the nature of the beast. You go out, and then in comes just absolute no babies. Look, huge population. How many is that? 20,000, 10,000, population of 15,000 virtual individuals. Pretty well level here. Pretty well stable. It goes from 15,000 to 0 in one generation. Yeah, that is scary, and it's a problem. If you dink around with it and lower population size, your maximum population size, you push that down, you push that out. So if you get low enough, then your maximum population, your endurance increases. And that's very predictable. It's like the area under the curve is constant. And that's not, don't take that to the bank, but it tends to change. You increase this distance when you decrease that distance. That's true in a number of trials. Okay. Notice the population went extinct, died at generation 131. You know, I like to run them 1,000 generations. That's not a very good performance. So when you go to the source code and start your own playing with it, you may be tweaking the program, you know, tweaking the parameters. If you set a very low impact of pre-zygotic infertility, maybe it'd go on indefinitely. Yeah, but if it's that low, does it really have an effect? All right. But in real life, that's not what we see. In real life, you take two people, healthy young people, opposite sex, marrying age, and from far sides of the globe, from as far away as you can possibly get them, take each from a population that's suitably small so they don't have a lot of post-zygotic infertility. So they got real good post-zygotic numbers, and cross them, but you'll get offspring. You really will. And if you then return to one village or the other, those offspring can go on indefinitely. So you never get to the point in humans where two individuals are so distantly related that they have absolute infertility on the basis of pre-zygotic infertility alone. Doesn't matter how long they've been separated. Matter of fact, as you know, cross a horse with a donkey. You won't get absolute infertility in the first generation. You're going to get some mules if you do it enough times. So in real life, you never get absolute infertility in the first generation, which means you don't get absolute infertility from a pre-zygotic process. Your infertility cuts in as post-zygotic. So get the person from way over there, married way over here. First generation, all you have to cope with is pre-zygotic infertility, and that saturates. Same species, always going to have a good chance of having offspring. After that, now the post-zygotic infertility begins to accumulate. Between a horse and a donkey, the mule pretty generally is quite infertile. If you cross a one-humped camel, a dromedary, dromos race, fast-running camel, with a Bactrian from Bactria in Western Central Asia. Yeah, that's right. So you capitalize a Bactrian camel, but you don't capitalize a dromedary. One-hump dromedary, two-hump Bactrian. Bactrians are really tough. They can stand a lot of heat and a lot of cold. They are so good at carrying people and stuff that in Mesopotamia they invented the wheel, but then when they got the camel, they abandoned the wheel. The camel was better. You didn't have to build a road for it. It would walk through just about anything. Camels, cross one hump with two humps, you get some offspring. And they can have offspring. After a few generations, and the numbers on this are not widely available, so I cannot give them to you, but it's called hybrid breakdown. Eventually, something happens. It's the post-zygotic infertility is accumulating. But in the first generation, the pre-zygotic infertility saturates. It reaches its own limit. Okay, you could tweak the program, and here it is. Come to knowbabies.net. Look this up. This is pre-Z infertility. I should be able to tell my, shorthand. Pre-zygotic infertility is 0, and then loss is pre-zygotic impact time the amount of mismatch. You go calculate it on out, and then you can subtract the number of offspring you lose and the chance of using one more. That's how it now stands. So, and this will so we can go up, so we can go back in there and say if the offspring coming is less than 2, make it 2. So you'll never have absolute infertility, pre-zygotic. You take these 2 lines, stick it in the middle of the program in here, it's in blue, there, and that would fix it. That is a very, very awkward fix. I really don't like that. But something's going on. it's either real low pre-zygotic infertility, which puzzles me, or it's some completely different process that just says that's it, no more damage from pre-zygotic infertility. You can't drop the number of offspring below 2. Of course, that's without considering post-zygotic effects. But that sheer falling off a cliff, yeah, that happens with the program. And that's worth a little scary. Let's see, I think we've talked about all this. So things are hanging together. The theory is the source code itself. That's the model, and we tweak it. It's still the same model. You can stick in that fix on the pre-zygotic infertility, and maybe that makes things better. I don't know. I haven't played with it in that form. Okay, so that's it. If you made it this far, we don't have to go back into the nitty-gritty of code again, I'm thinking. Next time we'll look at mating patterns. That talk will be very speculative. Everything is up there. So far, it's all been hard numbers. I've been trying to give you the truth as measured or calculated, and this is going to be somewhat more speculative. There will be numbers, but you don't have to believe it. It's okay if you just say, "Oh, fiddle," and go away, like so many people do with the important results. All right, see you again, I hope, and we will call that a lesson. Alexa, turn off light 1.